amazing creep story watch till the end, and which story is most likely to welcome to Mr. Nightmare Stories. This happened during a Boy Scout campout when I was 14. My friend, who was supposed to share a tent with me, canceled at the last minute, so I ended up having to pitch the tent and sleep in it alone. The sun was already going down, and after a long day of hiking, we got back to camp to set up our tents. By then it was already dark, and I was still struggling to put mine together. It definitely wasn't easy doing it by yourself. Eventually, someone came over and helped me finish setting it up. And after that, we all ate dinner. After the usual cheesy, scary stories around the campfire, everyone headed off to sleep. Honestly, I was kind of happy to have my own tent at that point since I had more space. I fell asleep pretty quickly, but sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up to the sound of someone stomping around outside my tent. At first, I figured it was just another scout getting up to pee or something. You're probably imagining all the tents packed close together, but our scoutmasters actually made us set them up pretty far apart, so I was a good distance away from the nearest people. The footsteps kept circling my tent over and over again. At that point, I was convinced someone was messing with me. I finally called out and asked who was there. As soon as I did, the footsteps stopped, and whoever it was stomped off into the woods. Part of me almost went outside to follow them, but I decided it wasn't worth it and tried to go back to sleep. After that, though, it was hard to relax. A little while later, the stomping came back. Again, whoever it was started circling my tent. Now I was annoyed. I got up and unzipped the tent door, expecting to catch another scout trying to scare me. Instead, I saw a grown man. He looked about 6 feet 7 inches, probably in his mid-30s. My heart instantly started pounding, and I couldn't even work up the courage to scream. The man smiled at me this creepy, unsettling smile, and slowly raised a finger to his lips, signaling for me to stay quiet. I immediately turned around and sprinted toward my scoutmaster's tent, screaming like crazy. He came running out before I even reached him, and I told him about the man I had seen. He and another scoutmaster grabbed one of the hunting rifles and ran over to my tent, but they couldn't find the guy. What they did find were footprints circling around my tent. Right after that, all of us were told to move our tents much closer together, basically right next to each other. The camping trip was cut short the next morning, and we all went home. I've never gone camping again since that night, and honestly, I never will. Last summer, a couple of my friends and I went camping near the Will Hudson River. We had to hike pretty deep into the woods to get to our campsite. That night, we spent hours fishing, listening to music and drinking until literally everything became hilarious. I think we finally decided to go to sleep sometime after 2:30 in the morning. I shared a tent with one of my buddies while the other two stayed in a separate tent nearby. After a while, we could hear them laughing about something. At first we laughed too, but eventually it started getting annoying, so we yelled over for them to shut up. That's when one of them yelled back, "Dude, that's not us." I immediately sat upright. That was when I realized it wasn't multiple people laughing. It was only one person, and it didn't sound like either of our friends. Even though I was drunk, I remember thinking how weird it was for someone to be all the way out there in the woods that late at night. The laughter slowly started getting closer to our campsite. My friend beside me suddenly sat up and stared at me with this terrified look on his face. Then we heard our other friends yelling that they were getting seriously freaked out. As the laughter got closer, I could hear it clearly now. It sounded like a grown man, maybe somewhere in his late 20s or early 30s. He sounded drunk too, like he was joking around with friends or something. But the weird part was we never heard anybody else, just him. And there was something deeply wrong about the way he laughed. It's hard to explain, like something was missing from it. You honestly had to hear it yourself to understand. By that point, the laughter sounded like it was right at the edge of our campsite, but we still couldn't hear any footsteps. That might not sound creepy at first, but trust me, it was impossible to move through those woods without making noise. Then suddenly, the laughing stopped, completely. We froze, staring at each other in total silence. Whoever that person was had to be standing somewhere nearby, but we never heard a single step. My friend was clearly panicking, though he was trying hard not to lose it. Then we heard something brush against the side of the tent. Slowly. We turned toward the sound and saw the outline of a hand pressing against the fabric of the tent in the moonlight. We both screamed and bolted out of the tent instantly. Our other friends came running too, and all four of us just sprinted through the woods as fast as we could. After about 5 straight minutes of running, we somehow managed to find the car. I was so exhausted and terrified that I actually threw up before getting behind the wheel. I know drinking and driving is stupid, and I'd never normally do something like that, but we were desperate to get out of there. To this day, it was the most horrifying experience of my life. I still have no idea who or what was out there with us that night. After college, I decided to spend a few weeks backpacking alone through the Canadian wilderness. And when I say wilderness, I mean completely isolated. The closest town was about a 3-hour bus ride away, and during the entire 7 days I was out there, I only saw one other person, some guy paddling a canoe way off in the distance. This was before digital cameras were everywhere, so I brought a couple of disposable cameras with me. I took tons of pictures during the trip, mostly random shots of the forest, lakes, and my campsite. When I finally got back home, I had all the film developed and started going through the photos. Everything looked normal at first, just typical nature pictures. Then I got about halfway through the first camera. That's when I found 2 photos of me asleep inside my tent. You could clearly see me lying in my sleeping bag. I completely lost it when I saw those pictures. I'm not exaggerating, I had a full-on panic attack. To this day, I still have no idea who took them or how they managed to get that close to me without waking me up. I haven't gone camping since. Even now, I sleep with my bedroom door open and my curtains tightly shut. And sometimes, late at night, I still get this horrible feeling that whoever took those pictures might somehow still be watching me.